Today we are making Dacquoise pastries filled with espresso buttercream and Nutella.
So to peel your hazelnuts, you just want to roast them until they're nice and golden in the oven at 350, and then you put them in a towel and you close it up and you let them steam for a little bit, and then you just go like this, roll them around in there, and the peel should start to come off, and you just keep doing that until all of the peels come off. Traditionally, Dacquoise is a cake, but today we're going to make it into a pastry. I have 6 eggs that I've separated. I have 6 egg whites in the bowl, and I've saved 4 egg yolks for later for the buttercream. Now, I'm going to whip the egg whites until they get frothy, and then I'm going to add a 1/4 teaspoon of cream of tartar and a pinch of salt. And then I'm going to keep whipping them until I get firm peaks. During that process, I will be slowly adding a 1/4 cup of white granulated sugar, and then I'll show you the next step. You also want to preheat your oven to 300 degrees and line a cookie sheet with parchment paper. I'm not sure if I'm going to need 1 or 2, so I've prepared 2, but you can start with 1. Well, I'll let you know how many you need. And here I have the egg whites. Now they're kind of frothy, so I'm going to start slowly adding a 1/4 cup of sugar. Now I drew some circles on the parchment paper and I flipped it over as a guideline for my pastry. And you can make them any size you want. Use a glass or a cup or a little dish, whatever you want. And here are the egg whites. You can see the stiff peaks here. I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of vanilla and a 1/4 teaspoon of almond extract. And then I'll show you the next step. So what I have here is 1 cup of the hazelnuts that we roasted and shelled previously. And you can either grind them in a food processor or as I did, I have this meat grinder that has a great attachment for grating nuts. But you want to have your nuts into like a powder like this, really fine. So I have a cup of the hazelnuts, and then I have 1 cup of blanched toasted almonds that I did the same thing to. I'm going to combine them together. I'm going to add 1 cup of white granulated sugar and 2 tablespoons of cornstarch, and I'm going to mix this together, and then I'm going to add it into my egg whites, and I'm going to gently fold with my spatula, just fold it all in, and then I'll show you the next step. So you kind of just want to fold. You don't want to stir it vigorously or anything like that. You don't want to deflate the egg whites. So you just keep going from under to over, gently incorporating. And I'll show you what it'll look like when I'm done. So this is what it looks like once all the nuts are incorporated. Don't worry if you have a few streaks of egg white. It's perfectly fine. You don't want to overmix. Now at this point you could put it in a pastry bag and pipe it onto your cookie sheet, but I'm just going to use a regular old spoon. I'm not going to complicate things more than I need to. And now I'm just going to spoon these onto these circles and gently try to fill in the shape that I have drawn on here, but I'm not going to press down on it or anything. I don't want to deflate my egg whites. So this is what they look like right now, and I'm going to put them in the oven. I'm not sure for how long because I usually do this as a cake, not as pastry. The cake takes an hour, so I'm thinking maybe 30 minutes, but I'll start checking on them at the 20-minute mark, but I'll let you know when it's done. Now this is less than half of my egg white mixture, so I'm not sure if 2 cookie sheets are going to be enough. Maybe I would suggest spacing these a little bit closer. I'll let you know. So this is my second cookie sheet, and I had 8 on the other one, and I have 12 on this one, so I used up all of the egg mixture, so it was fine. It worked out okay. I made these a little bit bigger, but this is what they look like. They're going in the oven, and I'll let you know for how long once I take them out. While your pastry is baking, you want to warm up 3/4 cups of whole milk together with a 1/2 cup of white granulated sugar. Once this simmers, I'm going to slowly add it into my egg mixture and whisk it very slowly because you don't want to scramble your eggs. And then you put it back in the pan and cook it for a little bit, just until it thickens, constantly stirring. Make sure you don't get scrambled eggs. So I just want to show you, see, I started to get a little bit of scrambled egg on the bottom, and I knew it was time to take it off. So I quickly put my mixture into the bowl. And this is the consistency you want. It's not really thick, but it's thicker than it was when I first mixed it together. So now what you're going to do is you're going to take either a mixer or a hand mixer or a stand mixer, and you're going to beat this mixture until it cools. And then you're going to add 3 sticks of unsalted butter. So once your egg yolk mixture has cooled, you put in 3 sticks or 1.5 cups of unsalted butter. And I'm going to beat this together until it's nice and fluffy. And then I'm going to add, I have 2 tablespoons here of espresso, but if you don't have espresso, you can buy the instant espresso and mix 3 tablespoons of that with 1 tablespoon of hot water and just let it cool. And I'm going to mix that into here once I have this nice and fluffy. So here it is, guys, the buttercream. I forgot to mention that your butter should be at room temperature, and make sure that your egg mixture is absolutely cooled because you don't want your butter to melt in there. So this is our cream, and now we're just going to wait for our pastry to finish baking, and we're going to cool them, and then I'll show you the next step. So it's been 38 minutes, and I took these guys out, and I just want to show you that, while I was testing it, I kind of poked it and crushed it, but at the 30-minute mark, you can start checking on them, and this is what you want them to look like. You don't want them to brown too much on the bottom or burn. And they're stiff to the touch, but they're not very hard. They're kind of soft over here. Now I'm going to let them cool, and I'll show you the next step. So now for the fun part, guys. I just want to say that the reason I showed you my sort of mess up with the egg kind of scrambling is don't be afraid. You can make mistakes. It's no big deal. I mean, I stopped it before the eggs scrambled completely, and nothing bad happened. And what you're seeing today is really an experiment. I've never made this recipe before. I've made dacquoise, but I usually make big ones, and I make a cake. So have fun in the kitchen. Experiment. Good things can happen. So what you're going to do is you're going to take one of your pastries or cookies or whatever you want to call them. They're kind of like meringues, but they're a little bit more chewy on the inside. And you want to spread some Nutella. Not too much, just a little, or as much as you want. And now I'm going to take a heaping spoonful of my Espresso Buttercream and spread it on here too. Probably 3 tablespoons. I'm just eyeballing it. And then you're going to take another one of these cookies or whatever, and you make a sandwich. And you kind of squeeze down on it a little bit so that the cream kind of comes out down around on the sides a little bit. And what I have here is a little bit more of the grated hazelnuts. If you don't have any, it's fine. You can leave it as is, but it's nice to just roll the edges in it if you want. And then you're going to put these in the fridge to set. They're usually better the next day, but a couple of hours and they should be good to go.
So here they are, guys, our dacquoise. I hope you enjoy.